right now we are seeing the hottest July and probably the hottest month ever recorded. And we are seeing Southern Europe having a really extreme heat wave, the longest heat wave they've ever had, with really extreme fires, impacts on tourists and locals.
We're entering the era of global boiling. That is that the words, or those are the words of the UN chief Antonio Guterres. It comes as scientists say July is virtually certain to be the world's warmest ever month since records began. And Mr. Guterres had a stark message to deliver.
Climate change is here, it is terrifying, and it is just the beginning. The era of global warming has ended, the era of global boiling has arrived. The air is unbreathable, the heat is unbearable, and the level of fossil fuel profits and climate inaction is unacceptable.
Well, meanwhile, here in the UK, the Met Office says that 2022 was the hottest ever year, but it will seem cool compared with what's to come. Dr. Mathew Kasoar is a research associate at the Faculty of Natural Sciences at Imperial College London, and they study the impact of climate change. In your opinion, will they only continue to go up?
They will continue to go up so long as the world keeps burning fossil fuels and keeps increasing the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So in a sense, it's depressingly
inevitable.
predictable that we will keep breaking these records until we reduce our greenhouse gas emissions to zero or net zero.
We've seen a number of warnings and reports over the last week or so. We had our hottest June on record. We're there for July already. And I think for some people, we know this is happening. We know it's going on. We're hearing about temperature increases that, might in the smaller context of things seem quite small. 0.1 degrees increase, 0.2, 0.3. And I think some people struggle with that still to see how that equals, climate change causing irreparable damage to the world. What I'd love to do with you, if you can, is just discuss some of the practical impacts of climate change. What around us are we looking at that is the result of climate change? How do we make this tangible for people?
I mean, we're seeing, as you say, right now we are seeing the hottest July and probably the hottest month ever recorded. And we're seeing Southern Europe having a really extreme heat wave, the longest heat wave they've ever had, with really extreme fires, impacts on tourists and locals. So in North America, extremely high heat as well, again, with record-breaking temperatures. And actually, it's not just this last month, but in Canada, for the last 3 months, they've had a sort of record-breaking fire season with enormous fires. And you've seen the smoke pollution from those fires affecting not just Canada, but lots of the US as well. So I think events like this, I hope, can be a sort of a wake-up call and really help make it very apparent to people that climate change is something which is happening now and we are dealing with it now. July, we are maybe hitting that 1.5 degree sort of number above pre-industrial sort of temperatures for the first time. And so these kind of impacts, this is right now what we're seeing is what that kind of 1.5 degree warming would look like in the middle of a century. As the average.
I think people sometimes get the message when they can see, aspects of their health that is directly related. I mean, obviously, there is the immediate danger of being near something like a wildfire, but how will increasing temperatures start to affect our health?
We know that heat waves have a really big effect on people's health. Every time there's a heat wave, you see excess deaths spiking within the first 24 hours. It happens very quickly, particularly sort of more vulnerable people, such as the elderly or the young. Where the body is just under more stress, trying to sort of regulate its temperature. So you see a lot of deaths just from heat on its own. And then, you add on top of that the danger of things like wildfires, so there's obviously a direct risk to sort of pattern, like sky turning orange from the fires up in Canada. And so there you've got populations of millions of people who aren't necessarily directly next to the wildfire, but they are being exposed to incredibly bad air pollution. And we know actually air pollution is one of the biggest public health risks that we face now. It's just